Hello, I'm Sue Pepin, and I must really love my medical students because I hate to be photographed or videotaped. So, for ophthalmology, what electives help your residency application? It's important to do an ophthalmology rotation here at DMS DHMC. We really offer a 2-week elective at this point, although that might be changing. And I encourage students to do an elective at another institution or more than one institution where they have residents in ophthalmology and fellows. It can help your application if that program sees you and likes you and you develop a rapport. It's not absolutely necessary to do your rotation where you might want to go, but it is a chance for you to also explore that institution and decide whether you want to be there. I really believe that you have to do what you love. And so whether you feel you're a weak student or your application numbers, number of honors, or your board scores aren't what you think is needed, if you're doing what you love, then I think you'll be successful. So I would encourage you to just try to explore and understand your own strengths and weaknesses and what you want to do, and then go for that. Rotations in global health can be wonderful, and there's a lot of opportunities in ophthalmology in global health, particularly for students and residents. And the timing of the rotation, because ophthalmology is an early match, it's good to do it on the early side in your 4th year, but it's not absolutely necessary. And certainly not having experience on the global scale doesn't hurt your application in ophthalmology by any means. An academic scholar year can be very helpful, particularly if you're doing something that you love and are passionate about and not doing it because you feel that you need to have some publications for your application. So if you have something that you're very interested in, great to do an academic year. If you're having trouble deciding, ophthalmology is one of the fields that has an early match, so it's not a bad idea to split and try to explore more that way by having more time. Also, keeping your options open is another way of determining. I have to admit, I applied in ophthalmology and neurology and started out on the interview trail and realized pretty quickly that in meeting the faculty, the other students applying, as well as the residents, that I was more suited to ophthalmology. But again, I didn't end up in neuro-ophthalmology, so I really crossed both worlds, and it isn't that you can't sort of have a circuitous route to end up where you want to be. In a highly competitive field, which ophthalmology is, again, if you're doing what you love, then I think you're going to be successful. It helps to talk to as many people and get as many opinions as you can in terms of what you should be doing, and having some really demonstrated commitment to the field and interest in your application can be helpful. In thinking about the transition from 3rd to 4th year, it is important to have an idea about ophthalmology and trying to schedule your ophthalmology elective either in your 3rd year to get exposure to it, and away rotations in the summer of your starting out in your 4th year, due to the application process being early. And this is tough for people. It gets much easier if you do split your time, but it means you have to have some exposure and idea about ophthalmology a little on the earlier side. That's a challenge for many people. So it's something to think about 1st and 2nd year. How much do you need to know graduating medical school? That's just a very hard question to answer. It's immeasurable, so I wouldn't worry about it, because you know a lot more than you think you do, and you're well suited, well equipped to go forward and do a lot more learning that you'll be able to do as an intern and as a resident, and you will never stop learning, luckily, throughout your entire career.